I bet you don't.
No, I do. I remember a little bit of it. I remember that we were at the I thought that we were at your apartment that you shared with Agnes.
No.
That wasn't it?
No. No, it was no. Hold on. I'm
Holding.
gonna just run and use the bathroom. I have a feeling this might be a longer conversation. Life is we lost the remote. That's it. That's the story. So here's
the remote to what?
The television. It's a really sad story. Are you going to put that in your screenplay?
Yeah,
I hope
that's totally going in.
Better stories. No, so there's my couch, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, the remote's been missing for like a week. I'm going to tear the couch apart. And so I take all the pillows off and I take the cushions off. And you know how in upholstery there's that really kind of like thin fabric that covers the springs?
Yeah.
So there was a slit in the fabric. And I was like, I bet you it fell between the cushions and fell into the slit and now is in the bowels of the couch.
Oh my God, this is like a horror movie.
And this is like a Clive Barker story. I reached my hand into the slit and I reached around and I came out with a dead bird.
Oh God. Oh my God.
That had been in there a long time because it had just vacant space where its eyes used to be. Yeah, so wow. I still have the couch. I really want to burn it, but we still have it.
You still have it?
The same couch, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's like
I check it for birds all the time. Check it for birds.
That sounds like you're just asking for some kind of demon summoning with that shit. So I don't know, just warning you.
Eyes were black like a doll's eyes.
Yeah.
So it's actually a party at someone else's house, and it was some kind of themed party. Like it was for something. I want to say it was a Halloween party. I don't remember. Anyways, we went to a party. I did not know you or your brother. You were both at the party. And if I'm not mistaken, Paradox and I wrestled at the party. A lot, like we were like knocking over furniture and like we saw each other and we were like, we must wrestle, like, and you were at that party.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took you home to Agnes's and I lived in that garret.
Yeah.
Which was a garret, like a mattress on the floor in the attic.
Yes.
And then I didn't see you again until I was up on a ladder. Do you remember this?
Vaguely.
So I was hired. I was the world's worst contractor's assistant. I was hired to scrape paint on a ladder, like 2.5 stories up. So I was up on top of this ladder and I saw you walking by and I was like, hello, it is me. And you said, do you want to come with me? I'm going to get my mail. I've told you this story. You remember this, right?
No, I don't, not at all.
And I was like, yeah, I can take a break. So I came down the ladder and we were walking down the street together. This was during your 2 different colored sneakers, pineapple hairdo. Now, in my memory, you have a balloon tied to your hair, but I don't know if that is later or so. It was when you were wearing your hair like straight up. The dreads were like straight up and you had 2 different colored shoes on. Did you and Paradox have the same size feet?
No. I think we just bought like 2 different pairs of Chucks or something.
So We haven't talked about this.
We don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. It's okay.
No, it's fine. It's just so weird.
Yeah, and that, you know, isn't that interesting? I mean, I think that's one of the things that's been really hard for me is so many of the things that I did were so weird and they were so nonsensical. And I mean, even though like I'm still constantly making mistakes and all the time. I mean, and just like I was making horrible mistakes when I was the age I should have known much better. But still, the stuff that I did back then, it's like another person. And so, yes, what happened? What happened? Because I don't remember.
So I thought you were like, so you have to understand that, you know, I was looking for a way into a different world. I was looking for the door in the wardrobe. I had grown up always thinking and feeling that I was an artist that I needed to be in the place, and I couldn't find the place. Every group of people I was in everywhere in my life, it was always people would turn to me and be like, oh my, you're different. Or like, oh, Tammy, tell us how you really feel. Oh my gosh. And I had never met anybody who was profoundly weirder than I was. So it was like a siren call. And you were so profoundly confident, or you had a masking technique that made you appear to be profoundly confident in a way that I had never. I mean, I was a small town girl from Amish farm country, and I went to school for 2 years at a shitty college in Dayton, Ohio. I spent 2 months with my meth addict brother in San Diego, trying to avoid him in the apartment. And then I was there in Philly. I hadn't seen the world. I hadn't gone anywhere. I hadn't done anything. And yet I felt myself that I was destined for profound work, that I wanted to work. I was never a person. The work was always for me, first and foremost, in front of me. Like I was the fish swimming with the lure that hangs down, and the lure was the work, and I was the fish following my own lure. So for me, when you appeared, although I was definitely the whole package was attractive, you also represented to me the work. So that occasion that we went to, was it Hell Squat? Was it called Hell Squat?
Yeah.
And you said, hold on, you stay right here. I got to go into this house to get my mail. The guy who's there now is a little crazy, so I don't want you to come in. And I was like, this house is abandoned. Abandoned house. I don't know if we don't have those where I'm from, but I'm pretty sure this one's been boarded up. And you were like, no, it's cool. And you went in, and what's his name? Was it Toxic Pete?
Yeah.
Toxic Pete came. How do I remember this? Where did that come from? Little things firing. Yeah. He came out, and he had like a cane. Did he walk with a cane?
I think just for fun. Just for fun.
Just for fun. Just for fun.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you one of my favorite sayings of all time from Philadelphia?
Water rice?
One of my favorite sayings from that time is when I was stripping and I needed a wig, and I went into this wig shop. There was a wig shop that was like a stone's throw from the clothespin. It was like right in the center of town. And there was a little wig shop, and I went in and I wanted this sort of Dolly Parton wig up on the top shelf. And I said, excuse me, I'd like to try that wig on just for fun. And the angry woman behind the counter looked at me and she said, trying on wigs is not for fun. And it is a saying that I use on a probably hourly basis in my life. Wigs is not for fun. So what is it for then? Toxic Pete came out, you got your mail, you came over to me on the street and you said, oh, I didn't want you to come in there. It's kind of a bad scene there. He's not really a person you want to be around. He had some, it was like mice or hamsters or something, and then he just forgot he had them and they all died in their cages. And I was like, what? That's the worst thing I've ever heard. And then you said, yeah, and then he had a dog for a while, but he had a bunch of skinheads come over and they beat it to death in the basement as part of some kind of ritual.
Oh my God.
And he didn't want to bother to get rid of the dog's body, so he had poured a bag of lime on it.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Holy shit. Oh my God. Yeah.
So I just want you to know that's some Manson family bullshit is what that is. That is some fucking full-on Manson family bullshit. So I was just like, huh.
This is something I want to get involved in.
I gotta figure this out.
I gotta get some of that.
No, I don't think I would have pursued an association with you if the next thing out of your mouth wasn't, let's go get a cheese hoagie, because I don't know if I'd ever had a cheese hoagie before. So I had my first cheese hoagie, and that was a problem. Then that was the beginning of a long slide into cheese hoagies for me. No, but you said, hey, do you want to come help me? We need somebody to pull curtains open and closed at this play I'm doing. And I was like, a play? Because I am an actor. I want to be in a play. I like a play. So that was what I mean, it's almost like I had a parallel, or we had a parallel life in that community. Because for me, the work we did with Big Mess was the most important part of that life for me in that time. So everything that we did was in the context that it was subordinate to the work that we did. That said, I was the shit. I can't. Why don't you ask me some questions? I'm not sure. I mean, I cannot believe the fucking drama. I am so anti-drama now, honey. I am like, I do not. I feel like I got it out of my system. Thank you very much. That was enough for me. There was one time after the Monkey Boy of Bel Cesar that I started crying, and Paradox took me up on the roof, and I cried for like an hour. I cried so hard that I bored myself into stopping. I think that was like it, where I was like, after that, I was like, oh, I've broken that part of myself. Like that can feel that particular feeling. I think I broke it, which was good. yeah, like emotionally, the idea that I wanted to feel those things and that I sought out the feelings that I felt, why would someone do that? I feel like just the same way my mother did not help me get a driver's license, she did not teach me how to balance a checkbook, she didn't teach me how to do any time management.
Yeah.
She also did not ever once say to me, do not behave like an idiot in your sexual and romantic relationships. Do not enslave yourself in search of something that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It would have been good maybe if she had mentioned that to me, I feel like,
Sure.
but I can't blame her. But I was unprepared. I rose to the occasion artistically, but I failed in the interpersonal aspect of during that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm talking about myself.
Tell me about it.
You were the shit. I do not know how you pulled it off, but you were like the shit. How did that feel?
I mean, like, so here's the thing. I'm fascinated by this. You know, I really appreciate that. Let me, you know, I appreciate you saying that. I think it's really kind of you. And I would like to hear more about that because I really, this is what I want to be clear about this. I am deeply regretful of pretty much every single thing that I did. So this is what I'm saying. It's like I'm trying to understand.
I'd like to apologize to you for having allowed you to do that stupid shit and putting myself in a position where I was doing all that stupid shit. What the fuck were we doing?
I really am.
I'm so deeply sorry. It's really shocking we're able to talk to one another because it was really a bad scene.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, I know. Well, I mean, I love you dearly. I mean, you're amazing, and I totally appreciate you. You're one of the most amazing people I've ever met.
Well, we're family now. So at one point, about 15 years ago, I said something to Matt about you. Like, it was something like, I think we may have to have Jackrabbit come visit us. And Matt said something along the lines of, oh, I know that. Oh, no, you guys are family. We're stuck with him. You couldn't get rid of him if you wanted. He's like, that's it. You're trapped together. And I was like, oh,
well, you know, it's interesting, Tim, because
thank you for understanding, honey.
I mean, this is the thing, you know, like this is you know, it's really interesting to me because I think one of the things that we kind of started off talking about was this mistaken belief that we're driving the car, you know, and it's really interesting today. Like, you know, I feel so much more aware, emotionally aware. I understand so much more about myself than I ever did, and you know, here we are talking, and it's very easy for me to say, listen, I adore you. I think that you're an amazing person, and I always did.
Thank you.
And I am just, I mean, like, I look at that kid, and I see such a damaged person. I see somebody who is walking around with so much trauma, trying to process that trauma. You know, it's interesting, actually. Like, I definitely am going to process this idea, the asynchronous development, because I really think that this is a problem that I had. And I think it's fascinating, really. I'm going to go off on a tangent really quick, and I want to come back. But I do feel like human beings and their tools, we have developed tools that we cannot handle. We are not emotionally capable of dealing with the tools that we've created. Nuclear weapons is not something that I want any human being ever created, even Buddha, to touch, ever. Not for another 10,000 years of emotional development. We're not ready for it. And I feel like talking to you now, I'm kind of understanding that poor kid that I was had the frontal lobe was just like, we can do anything. We're good to go. Let's go. Ow! And meanwhile, like my emotional world, my emotional capacity was so underdeveloped, I had no tools in my toolbox. You know what I mean? But I was convincing myself that this was the way to be. This was the thing to do. Like, this is what we do. This is how we do things. And it's totally cool. And I think part of the problem there was that my frontal lobe was just like making excuses and kind of bringing together, pulling together different ideas. Go ahead, please go.
I have something to tell you, which is a really interesting evolutionary biology concept about brain development. Specifically, I think the timeline on this is that this takes longer for men or for boys than it does for girls and women. But in the past 10, 20 years, more has been understood about the developing teen brain. And we were 20, right? I mean, you were 19 or 20 when we met.
Yeah.
So the teen brain, which is you're a teen till you're like 25, is actually, so in order for a primate to leave your family unit, which historically throughout human history has been about 30 individuals. So you cannot mate within that family group. You're going to be fucking your sister or your first cousin. So you have got to leave your family unit when you become sexually active, and it is time for you to mate. So there's nothing more dangerous in a primate's life, a male primate's life, than the moment that it leaves that family unit to outside of the protection of your home and your known circle and move out to find a mate, to try and integrate into another family unit to try and find a mate. You are very likely to be killed. You're very likely to be eaten by something on your way there. So in order to, who the fuck would do that? Like, fuck it, I just won't have sex. Like, I'm not gonna go out there and get killed. There's an 80% chance I'm gonna fucking fall into a ravine. Like, eagles will eat my liver. Like, this is stupid. Your brain is developed so that you want to seek risk. You are risk seeking. You have a very high threshold. You want a lot of intensity. You want adrenaline. You want to feel things. For years and years and years until you're like 25.
Mm-hmm.
And that is because you need to get outside of your family group so you are not fucking up your genetic legacy.
Uh-huh.
And so here we are, like, 10,000 years later down the road, and that is not serving us well. We could fuck all kinds of people without having to, steal a car.
Here's the thing. It's not serving us well. And it's not serving us well because we are so out of sync with like how we operate, right? We've built a framework, a society, a culture that is antithetical to what we need biologically, like what our bodies are made to do. We have totally fucked that shit up. That's what's so crazy about this.
Right. So on a macro level, it means that those behaviors aren't suited to society, but on a micro level, it means that those behaviors are not suited to your own particular life.
Yeah.
And that you are being driven to do things that are harmful for you.
Yeah.
So I want you and I to let each other off the hook because our brains were literally still developing. And you and I are children of trauma. And so we had even less tools than most people. Most people are given the message, you are of value, you matter, you are important. And so they walk out into adulthood going, I matter, I'm important. But I didn't know that. So I was willing to do anything, which is good, honestly, in a lot of ways, because it served me. I mean, God, why would we let Greg Giovanni do to us what he did to us if we were not sensation seeking? And I don't regret any of it. I don't regret like bullwhipping people, like making them turn that fucking stage.
I mean, that
Like,
was one of the better.
faces and going, fucking turn it! Turn the stage! Like, that was crazy. Yeah. That whole thing was crazy. But anyways, I don't regret those things. But I think that we were not, and you know what's really funny? I'm gonna say something, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but do you know that you have never told me what happened to you?
What do you mean?
All I know is that it wasn't good. What I know about your life before I saw you at that party could fit in a thimble.
Mm.
I think your dad was some kind of shrink. Was he a therapist or something? Mm-hmm. Okay. And your parents split up. That's it. That's all I know. You never talked about it. Yeah, I mean, I was bleeding out my eyes talking blah, 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 all the time about myself, and you never, that was part of the deal. I think that was part of your whole shtick and part of your mystique, is that you were doing what you were doing because you were Jackrabbit. And it was very mysterious and nobody knew. It wasn't like, people couldn't go, oh, he acts like an asshole because this and this happened to him. Or, oh, all that whiz bang boom and all that stuff, oh, that's just a compensation for blah blah blah. You were shrouded in mystery. Which was really smart. It was a good marketing tool.
Yeah.
And I was as close to you at that time as probably anybody could be.
Anybody, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
You didn't talk about it. Did you know that?
I mean, I'm not surprised. I honestly, I mean, I shut most of that out. Like, I wonder often, because I have a very, very bad memory, and I wonder if it's because I have just shut that whole part of my life out, like just shoved it away, and the consequences that I really can't remember most of anything.
My understanding was that you and Paradox were born the night you jumped out of that building.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, in a lot of ways, yeah.
And that nothing else before that was
relevant, yeah.
It was either you were not able to recall it or you did not care to.
And I was so, I mean, like, anger was pretty much at the center of my life for many, many years. And it was because I resented my father so much. I mean, and it took, I had to go, I mean, that was what really motivated me to go to therapy, because I finally realized that I was just not, it wasn't working. And I just like, I was like, I got to try something. But yeah, I mean, like, it wasn't, yeah, I mean, like, my mom is just, she's a nutcase, talking about emotional tools, just completely not having any. It was, yeah, it was just really bad. My dad kidnapped me and Paradox to get us away from her, and then basically just was completely emotionally absent. Yeah, and that was why Paradox and I got so close, was because we didn't really have anybody else. We had, my dad, after they kidnapped us, just kind of took us and moved us to where my stepmother lived. And what that meant was that we were away from anything that we'd known. we weren't close to any of our friends. We weren't close to any of our family. We went to a school with, new school, and didn't know anybody. And so it was really like we were completely isolated. And my dad wasn't really just wasn't present. My stepmom wasn't present. She was very cold, and, you know, just felt completely abandoned. And that was, that was really traumatizing for me. And it was like Paradox and I just kind of leaned on each other. And I ran away from home a bunch of times, and finally just ended up at the shoe. It all started at the wooden shoe. Um, and Karen, actually, Sprite. Unfortunately, writing this, I realized how crucial she was to, like, my introduction into that scene. And I hate it because I hate her. I mean, she's like the worst person in the world to me, but she wasn't always, right? I mean, she really kind of like opened up.
I remember her. I mean, I can see her in my mind, but I don't remember. Did she do something terrible?
Well, I mean, yeah, so I mean, we were kind of inseparable for a little while. And she was stripping over it all in the family. She got some money and bought bus tickets for us to take a cross-country trip to San Francisco. I don't really remember any of the details. I just know that about, halfway along the way, she decided that she was gonna take our tickets with her, and she left us in Arizona.
Why?
We got into
Why?
a fight. We got into a fight. I don't remember what it was about. I think
She took your tickets?
she took our tickets. I think that
Arizona.
I'm kind of like crafting this out of like what remnants of the story I can recall, but I believe that I was incredibly depressed at the time. And I'm kind of making it up that she thought that this would be one way to get me out of it. Because the thing is that I was actually kind of borderline psychotic. I would say that I probably was psychotic at the time, because Paradox and I had. So what happened was we were living at the shoe at the time, because the house had burned down. We didn't have anywhere else to go. We were living at the shoe. We were sleeping on the floor of the wooden shoe, and Paradox and Karen came back with, like, just showed up one night with like a whole bunch of acid. Did I tell you about this? So they showed up with a bunch of acid. I'd never tripped before, and I lost my mind. Like, I really lost my mind. I was just like writhing around on the floor, out of my mind, and it dramatically affected me. I don't, I kind of, eventually I came back to myself after many months, but I was absolutely like out of my mind. I was psychotic, and I needed Paradox to basically babysit me. And so I think that was kind of part of what was going on, is that I believe that she was kind of like trying to help, like let's go for a trip, or whatever. That's what I'm telling myself. And along the way, it was obviously that I was still in a really bad place. And I wasn't coming out of it. And I think that she just got frustrated with me, and we got into a fight, and then she left. And so that was pretty much it for me and her. But then, what ended up happening, like her, the whole thing where she kind of like slandered me by saying that I was a sexual predator or whatever.
I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah, no, you were part of that. You were involved with that. She accused me of kind of like doing something bad to you and to Denise and to her. It was like, she just spread this rumor that I was like a rapist. Yeah, it was really profound. It totally fucked me up.
I cannot remember this.
That's good. It's horrible.
Did I do something bad?
You didn't do anything. No, this was all her. This is all her. I actually went to you and I was like, did I forget something? Did I do something to you? And you were just like, no, I don't know what the fuck her problem is.
Oh, thank God.
No, but she brought you into it. She brought Denise into it. And then she also claimed that she had been abused or something like that. And it was all completely fictional. And yeah, it was, and that was basically why I left town. I essentially felt, because like there's quite a number of people who believed her and shunned me, and it was really horrible, and that was kind of like what really motivated me to move to San Francisco.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, sorry that I didn't tell you anything. Huh?
Was I gone then? Or
I think that around that time that I definitely don't think that you and I were hanging out at that point. Like it was, yeah.
I don't think I think right. Well, we didn't hang out because I started dating Kevin, and part of his whole fucking mind control gig was that I had to sever all contact with anybody who loved me or cared about me. Like, now there's a fucking predator. Jesus Christ, that fucking nut. Did I ever tell you what he did to what happened to him or what happened with him? Did I ever tell you that stuff?
I kind of maybe feel like you mentioned it, but I don't remember.
Well, he was super abusive. So like he was like crazy abusive. When we crossed the country in that van and we finally got here, it was like living in that last scene in The Wall where Pink loses his mind and starts arranging things on the floor. Like, I came home from, he wasn't working, of course, I was working. I had a shitty job, like in a cinnamon bun stand or something. And I would, at the Pike Place Market, and I would come home and he was trying to get me to sign my checks over to him. He was like, well, you're working so hard. Why don't you let me manage the money? That'll be my contribution. Like, I'll manage money. And I was like, I'm not, like, I might be crazy and deep into this, but I'm not crazy enough to like start signing my whole check over each year. What is that? Oh, hold on. Can you wait 1 second? Hi, honey. Hi. I'm on the line with Jack. Can you still hear me, Rabbit?
I can still hear you.
Good. Okay, you stay there. Okay, what do we got here? No candles. I don't want any candles. I'll catch the house on fire. We're proxy shopping. He's in my favorite store at the mall. I told him he had to call me so I could buy what I wanted to buy. Okay. What flavors do we have? Do we have autumn flavors?
Marshmallow pumpkin latte.
Yes. Get the soap. Get this.
Honey scrub exfoliating.
No, I don't want the. I want the body wash. This is middle class life for you right here. You get to proxy shop with me.
You go for it, right?
Yeah. No, that's body lotion, honey. Get the shower gel. Ask the nice lady. She'll help you find it. Shower gel.
Fine fragrance mist.
What's the other scent? What's that one?
Oh, they're out of the marshmallow pumpkin latte.
Okay, what is the other autumn scent over there?
Cinnamon pumpkin.
I don't like cinnamon. What's that?
Vanilla mocha cafe.
I don't like vanilla. What's
plum prosecco.
Ew.
Oh, here's marshmallow pumpkin latte.
That's okay. Get that one. Get that one. Okay, that's great. Thank you, honey.
More fall? Want more fall stuff?
Yeah. What else is there fall?
Actually, I think that's it.
Okay. That's it. They don't have the bonfire bash.
You like cherry?
No, I don't like cherry. Do they have bonfire bash? No, they don't. We would have seen it right up front if they had it.
Champagne apple honey.
I don't want that.
I think that might be last year's.
Okay.
Sunrise yoga.
Will you get me a spray fragrance that you think that I would like that's not real flowery?
Not lavender.
No, not real flowery. Something that's
Like citrus.
I like citrus, and I like smoke, and I like citrus. I don't like Beautiful Day. I don't like that one. More
Champagne
sophisticated
apple honey?
smells.
How about champagne apple?
Mm.
Yeah. Let's see here.
You know, I'm on the other line with Jackrabbit. He's watching me shop right now. I'm
Matt.
Funny.
I wish you could see
For
Matt.
room fragrance.
Okay, that's good. That's enough. I gotta get
I'll
back.
ask around.
Okay, I gotta get back to this call. You're so sweet. I love you. Thank you for
Bye.
calling
Love
me.
you.
Are you guys having fun? I miss you. I love you.
Hi, Matt.
I'm in Shanghai. Okay, so I came home one day and he was sitting in the chair where I'd left him. And I went to bed and I was like, are you coming up to bed? And he was like sitting in this chair like this. And then the next morning I got up and he was still in the chair. And I was like, are you gonna get up? And he stayed in that chair for 3 days and he wouldn't move and he wouldn't talk.
Oh my God.
And by the end of it, I was like crying. I was like, do I need to call like an ambulance? Like, it was really crazy. And then like a few days later, I came home and I opened up our closet. We didn't have many belongings because everything, we didn't have a lot of stuff, but we had a lot of books. We had a couple milk crates of books, and there were 3 stacks of, inside our closet where we hung our coats, were 3 stacks of books, perfect books stacked, with 3 shoes on top of them. And I opened up the closet and I was like, fucking, this is like Blair Witch shit. Like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, could you, I'm gone at work all day long and this is his project, right? Like, he makes this shoe sculpture. And I was like, what the fuck is this? So when I left to go to do Napoleon Bonaparte part 4 and 5 and a half or whatever it was, and I was gone, when I came home, he sent the woman he was fucking to pick me up from the airport. And she brought me home, she dropped me off, and I walked into the house and he had destroyed everything in the house. He had opened up the refrigerator and thrown everything onto the wall. He had ripped our mattress off the bed and ripped it up and shredded it. He pulled the shower curtain down. He the couch was upside down. There was like shaving cream all over the house.
Oh my God.
When I got back from Philadelphia, that was what was waiting for me. He had just destroyed the house.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it was like,
Oh.
so I was like, I took this sort of high road where I was like, okay, this is my partner. Like, we've been together for almost 3 years. He's having a nervous breakdown. So I need to try and get him the help he needs. Like, I'm not gonna, well, he actually moved out shortly thereafter and he turned off the light, the electricity, and he drilled the doorknob out of the door and the lock mechanism when he left so that I couldn't lock the door if he came back. So I was, at that point, I was like, and he did this thing where he used to punch me in his sleep. Did you know that?
I vaguely remember that, yes.
He started doing it in Philly. And it was like this weird thing that he would do that he wasn't really awake. Like, I would get into bed and he would just crack me across the face. So, I mean, at this point, I was like, oh, you can fuck with me so hard for so long. I can put up with so much abuse, but I have this weird defense mechanism built into me. And again, I don't think I'm driving the car. I think this is a survival mechanism where all of a sudden the switch goes and I get icy cold and I'm like, I have to get out of here. you know, and I was like, I'm going to die. He's going to kill me. Like, I was like, okay, he's really going to fucking kill me. So I moved out, and as I was getting all of my things packed up, somebody came to help me. I knew like one person who could help me. I realized that he had taken my family photographs, that all of the pictures of my family that I had brought with me to the West Coast, he had taken them. So about 2 weeks later, I knew where he was living. I brought a huge guy, the 6'6" guy with me. And I was like, I want you to go into the house, walk through his house, and make sure he's not there, because I need to go into the house and try to find my family photographs. He went through the house. He checked the house. He's like, it's clear he's not there. And I went in and I just started looking for my pictures. And suddenly Kevin sits up. He had been under the blanket. It was like a fucking nightmare.
Oh my
like,
God. Oh my
like,
God.
he like sat up in the bed and he was like, raw, and he got up, you know, and he was 6'4", like he was a super big guy. And he picked me up by my shirt and threw me down the stairs. Boom, 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 boom. And then he down the stairs and picked me up and held me up against the wall. And I'm fucking like 180 pounds, right? I'm not 180 pounds now. I wish I was. I'll never see 180 again. He picked me up by my throat and he pinned me up against the wall with my feet dangling. And he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And then my friend was like, oh, I guess he was like a big sweetheart. Like, you know, he just was real big, but he was like, hey, put her down. So he was fucking crazy. He was completely insane. And after we broke up, he married this girl from the Pike Place Market. He married her. They had a child together.
Oh my God.
And the child had a medical issue that she had to go to the hospital frequently. And it came down the wire to me that he was not allowing her the bus money that she needed to take their child to the hospital. He would withhold money from her. So she would have to beg people for money to be able to take their baby to the hospital. And when she finally left him because she was like, he's going to kill me, she came home to get their things. You know, she moved out with nothing and then came back to get her stuff. And he had taken a pair of scissors to every single piece of clothing of hers and the baby's. So he cut the baby's clothes apart. So what I'm trying to say is, A, I'm lucky I didn't have a kid with him.
Oh my God.
Can you fucking imagine? And B, I'm lucky I got out. I'm lucky I got out. I'm just lucky I got out with my life. I mean, towards the end, I thought he was going to kill me.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. That is a real nightmare. That is a fucking nightmare. That is a horror story right there. Oh my God.
It was really scary. It was because, you know, like, you can't believe that you're like, is this really happening? Like, it just doesn't even really seem like it could be. It took me so long to just be like, this is what's happening. This is the thing that's happening right now. So I worked for a year here on the island I was on the board of directors of a domestic violence organization called Dove here. And I still do messaging and branding work with them. So I was like,
it's awesome.
Dude, I know. Anyways, how do we get off on that tangent? Yeah.
I mean, just Kevin and abuse and
So when that happened, it's likely that we weren't close because that was all part of his, you know, his big plan.
Yeah.
That's what abusers do, is they disconnect you from your support system.
I am so sorry. Yeah, I mean, I barely remember him. I mean, he came across as just like a smart guy.
He was very smart.
Yeah, but I definitely did not pick up on that craziness.
No!
So horrifying.
He's just really kind of mild-mannered and intelligent.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was as fucking crazy as a bedbug. Now, hold on.
but I feel like it also kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier. You know, it's like
I want you to ask me another question because this is for your screenplay. So what more do you, I feel like I haven't been keeping to the script. What other questions do you have? Do you have any?
yeah, and that's fine. I don't mind. I'm hoping that maybe we can do this again because I'm enjoying myself just talking to you. So I'm hoping that we can do it again. But
What do you have another? I mean, do you have like things written down that you want to know? Like
no. I mean, like specifically, like you know, just
you were the sexiest thing on wheels, and everybody thought so.
yeah. Okay. That's good. That's good. I mean, yeah. Okay.
Every single. I do not understand how you pulled that off.
I don't either. That's what I'm saying. I have no idea how that happened. I have no idea how because you know, I mean, if you know anything about me, you know I was not trying to be sexy. Like that was not what I was trying to do. I did not think that about myself. I was not trying to do that.
Everybody and their brother wanted to fuck you.
Which I still don't understand it. I never did. I never did. I find it very bizarre. And it's interesting. I don't know what it was.
Recover from that and become like an adult and function in the world.
I mean, do you know?
Is it like being a movie star and then suddenly you're just a normal guy?
That's what I'm saying. No, I mean, it is very weird. It is very weird. Here's the thing now.
Tell anybody that. Like, if you started dating a woman right now, how could you say that? Like on your fourth date, like, oh yeah, for like 5 years of my life from the time I was 20 till I was 25, I was a fucking fuck star. I was like, how could you say that? You have to take that to the fucking grave. You could never share that with anybody.
But this is the thing, Tim. This is why I need you. This is why I think that I need you to tell me why you think and why I was attractive to you and why you think other people was attractive to me. Because this is what I'm saying. That's not how I think of myself. I didn't think of myself. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. I didn't feel that way about myself then. I didn't see myself that way. I never saw myself that way. I can objectively see why that may have happened, right? Because I did somehow, despite the fact that I looked like a fucking freak, somehow, I mean, like, I see pictures of myself. I had a fucking Fu Manchu mustache. I had crazy dreadlocks. I mean, I'd like, what the fuck?
Great. I gotta tell you, the aesthetic, you know, I think we were creating it ourselves. And it was like, we were like weird, like a weird school of fish that had separated from the larger school and were developing really weird fins and stripes and colors that were only attractive to us. It was like, I was like, how's this thing I'm wearing? I remember I used to fucking wake elbow up in the middle of the night and be like, get up. I just found this in the garbage. Look at this. Like, I would have like a fucking weird wig on and like a Marilyn Monroe fucking garbage bag dress. Like, how do I look? Like, the aesthetic aspect of it, just like, I don't think anybody who was not part of that could understand how fun that was and how powerful it was and how it became, I think, a signifier of like-mindedness within this very small group of people. It was like we were dressing for each other. There was like 10 of us that understood, oh no, you can find this hat in the garbage and then you can put this other thing on it and it means you're sexy. And there was only 9 other people that'd be like, absolutely, I want to fuck you when you wear that hat. And the rest of fucking society was like, oh my God, you are a garbage person. But we didn't care. We didn't care.
No.
Because it wasn't for them. It was for us. And I think that was intoxicating. and
Hmm.
creative and powerful. I think it was, I think we were a subculture within a subculture.
Yeah.
I think the theater people within that community in Philadelphia were, yeah, I think we were inside, we were a smaller ring inside a ring. I think we were,
I mean, yeah, and I definitely think it was like a butterfly effect kind of thing, where because I think that there was an influence that you really couldn't uh, like forensically identify. It nevertheless really kind of came back to the work that we were doing at the time. Like we just kind of like I think that we probably turned a lot of people on to like
I'm
I mean
sure.
I mean there wasn't a fringe festival when we were around, you know.
No.
I mean there wasn't a, now there's all this underground theater and stuff like that. That wasn't here when we started doing what we were doing. No.
Well, I think we were just very drunk on the power of creating something from nothing. We created our homes from nothing. We created our clothes from nothing. We created our theater from nothing. We were completely, now, I mean, this whole conversation, you know, in retrospect, we were being, you know, remote controlled by trauma, and, you know, we were cogs in a system, like rolling along, doing all these things that we were not aware of. But I don't want to discount the power and the importance of what we achieved.
Yeah, yeah, and thank you for saying that because I think that is definitely the thing I'm struggling with. You know, in doing this writing is, you know, I am seeing so much of the trauma and really missing the attractiveness of it.
Oh, the glamour. Oh my God. So
Yeah.
fabulous. So fun.
Yeah, I mean, I really do think that's what it is. I think that the thing I'm really struggling with is, you know, today I look back on it and I see so much of the trauma. I see so much that I'm regretful for. I see Jimmy Mooney as like a recovering addict, or maybe he's an addict. I don't know where he's at now. You know what I mean? But at the time, it was like fabulous, 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 right? And so it's like understanding, and I think this is going to be really the challenge of the writing is going to be able to, you know, really kind of show, like really have that paradox, that tightrope be exposed, you know, like where it's like it seems so cool and it seems so fabulous, and at the same time it's really masking a lot of trauma and a lot of
Well,
unresolved issues.
should we have just gotten jobs? Should you have worn sensible slacks? I mean,
No, 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 no. No, I mean we did the best that we could with what we had. Absolutely.
we did better. We did better than anybody could have expected us to do.
I like that. I like that.
I don't regret all of it. No, I think we were fucking rock stars. I mean, I am so, you know, boy, you want to get my husband riled up. You know, he's 10 years younger than I am, sweetie. So he thinks I'm so cool because when I was 20 and doing these things, he was 10. My husband was 10. So yeah, plus I married him when he was, well, we started dating when he was in the last couple of months of his 24th year. So when he started to get into his own, come into his own as a creative theater artist and as a sexy dude, I came along and snatched him up and I took him off the market. So I think that he sees some of the stories that I tell with a little like blink, blink, like he's like, wow. But yeah, but and it's also because I think he thinks that if I wear anything that is even slightly a little 80s, if I get out the fingerless lace gloves, he just starts, it makes him sweat. He likes it a lot.
Aw, that's adorable. I love it.
Right, because he could be like, you were so dumb and that whole part of your life is so stupid. Thank God I rescued you. But it's not. He's got a little fetishy about it, actually, to be quite frank. So it's cute. But I don't feel I hope that's the primary feeling that you feel most of the time, is proud of what we accomplished and proud of what we accomplished with so little. I mean, the emotional and the only thing, we were not intellectually poor, but pecuniarily we didn't have 2 nickels to clack together, and we were fucking children of trauma. And I'm really impressed with what we managed to pull off. And honestly, you and I have never not talked to each other. I mean, we've been, it's not like this is the first time we've talked in 10 years. I mean, we've stayed in contact through the whole thing from the time I left Philly. So same with Paradox. I whatever hurts and mistakes we made, they never overwhelmed our familial connection. They never severed our feeling of responsibility to one another. So fucking cut them some slack, those poor kids. They're doing okay. The kids are all right.
I'm trying. That's going to be the work, I think. I think that's definitely going to be the work. Yeah.
I want you, if you want to talk to me again, I want you to think about this conversation, and if you have any specific questions,
Yeah,
or areas that are blank for you that you would like to have a different perspective or shine some light on, if there's areas that you feel you need a different perspective on, I write those down, and you can ask me anything.
okay.
Was there anything specific about a specific incident or time or?
No, I mean, it was really like, I think we kind of like what I was saying before, it was like really, like I said, I am struggling with I'm really struggling with being in touch with the excitement and the fun and the, what you just said, right, like earlier, where you were saying, like, that guy was super confident, like he just was like ultra confident, and I'm like, what? Like I don't have that, like the work
So,
that I've done has
hanging,
really been able for me to be able to understand the difficulty and the challenges that I was working with, and so that's really what I've been focusing on. And
courage. You had incredible courage. I mean, you stop, same for me, right? Like, to put one foot in front of the other and to keep moving, incredible courage. And also, I think in a weird way, you didn't okay, so I don't mean to keep saying like it's the same for me, but I'm feeling it in myself, and I think it might be applicable, is that because you did not value yourself highly, you were able to put yourself into dangerous situations, because honestly, in a way, you don't really care if you live or die.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think of yourself, I didn't think of myself at that time as like, you know, a precious resource that deserved to be protected. It was like, fuck it, just I'm fucking throw it into the future. Just fucking ball her up and just fucking tape her shit up and just fucking hurl her into the maelstrom.
Yeah.
Because who gives a shit?
Yeah.
What else am I gonna fucking do?
Yep.
And
Yep.
but I don't think you can discount that, because you might say that's not courage, that's just low self-esteem. But there are other ways that people deal with low self-esteem that aren't to act like you are confident and to make great art. So that's what we did. We acted like we were confident and we made great art. So I remember you hanging from the fucking ceiling. Do you remember me trying to talk you out of it? You probably don't remember this. I was really upset about you hanging from the ceiling.
For the in warm water part?
Yeah.
That piece? Yeah. No, I don't
Now,
remember.
I was furious at Greg.
Wow.
And honestly, let's look back on this. That was not safe.
No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There was nothing holding me up there except my ankles. Like my ankles in like
fucking Cirque du Soleil, my friend. Like, and if you were in Cirque du Soleil, there'd be a fucking net under you.
Yep.
Like,
or even like one of those like a harness or something. Nothing.
So I fought with Greg about you doing that stunt. And I fought with you about doing that stunt. I bet you don't fucking remember.
I don't remember that at all.
I fucking fought with you. I was jabbing my finger into your chest. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? You cannot fucking do this. Like, you can't let him do this to you. It's unsafe. And you were just like, bitch, get off me. I'm fucking doing it. And I want you to understand that moment, let me just tell you, meanwhile, I'm in a fucking fish suit in a pool that is, the water was about 45 fucking degrees.
Yeah.
I had fucking walking pneumonia by the end.
Yeah, that's right. You were I remember you were sick.
Of course, and I had like 4 pages of full dialogue that I memorized like in 24 hours. Yeah. Like if you had tried to tell me, like, Tammera, it's too cold, like you can't put the fish suit on. It's Greg's not taking good care of you, and you're gonna die in there. I would have been like, get the fuck off me! Like I'm a fucking hero. You know, we have this thing in our family, like, you know, we have built everything that we do from the ground up. Matt and I, like Matt and I, built our business. We gutted and rebuilt this house ourselves mostly. We homeschool our kids. Everything we do is DIY, like everything. And it's not easy. And we talk all the time about how I think that Americans fetishize things being easy.
Yeah.
Reminds me of this time years ago, I found this abandoned dog, and I had it in my yard, and I was talking to my next door neighbor about how this puppy, I was trying to find an owner where its owner was, and it was chewing up the kids' Legos and pooping everywhere. And she said, wouldn't it be easier to take it to the pound? And I was like, who gives a shit about easy? What is, so since when has somebody come home and been like, woo, that was easy? Like, you don't feel like a sense of ownership and joy and triumph because something was easy. Easy is so over fetishized in our culture, like floating in a warm bath of milk like you're in fucking the Matrix. Like, that's easy. Like, it's It's not easy to climb up in the rafters and fucking wrap the rope around your ankles and dead drop. That's not easy, but it was fucking important and it was brave. And I just think that we can forgive ourselves while still seeing how brave and how gorgeous that stuff was. The audience didn't know about your personal problems. And you know there are people out there who still remember that. There's probably people still talking about it. Oh man, fucking theater back in the late 80s, man. I saw some crazy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I just think we had a really strong work ethic and we believed in what we were doing. And Greg Giovanni was very good at finding people who had emotional problems that he could exploit. Conversation for another day.
Well, I'm looking forward to talking about that too. I mean, I love that guy so much. I mean, he's just so adorable and so damaged. Yeah. All right.
You know, having you and Greg come to see Computer was one of the greatest moments of my life.
Were we there together?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. It was one of the weirdest
Wow.
moments of synchronicity. He just happened to be coming into town to do his kabuki thing.
Yes. Yes.
And you were there to see me, I think.
I think I was visiting a girlfriend, I believe.
Or maybe somewhere in Portland, and then you came up or something.
You remember what the year was? It 2011?
I was pregnant with Lander, so I had Lander in 2006, and I was 6 months pregnant during that show.
Wow, really? Are you serious? Oh shit! What the fuck? What was I doing there? Wow.
And you and Greg sat in the audience, and I'm telling you right now, I am fucking proud of that show. I'm dead proud of that show. I love that show. And you can draw a direct line from every single big mess piece I ever did straight to that show. I mean, it was so big mess in so many ways. But the magical thing, of course, is that, you know, it was also Matt's crazy vision. Matt was the director, you know. Did you know that?
Was he also nude?
Oh yeah, he was on the ladder.
Naked Angel, yeah.
He was God. His only line in the entire show was when the guy went to eat the apple hanging on the string, and he goes, "Don't touch that fucking apple." That was his only line. Yeah, he was God in that. Yeah.
Aww.
That was a great show. But I did have this moment during a rehearsal where I was standing in about a 1/4 inch of stage blood and Mountain Dew with 36 electrical lamps all plugged in. And I'm essentially standing in a gel of electrical conduit with all these lamps. And I'm in the middle of the fucking rehearsal and I go, fuck this! I'm not gonna fucking do this! Well, I'm fucking pregnant! I'm like, I am not electrocuting myself! I am fucking pregnant! And Matt's like, everybody, 10-minute break, 10-minute break. 10-minute break. Like, let's have a private conversation. And everyone could hear us. They were all in the dressing room and I was going, so that was time to move on. It was time to move on. There you go. Like 20 years ago, I would have been
fucking head.
Bring it on! Give it up! But, you know, you get to a point where you're like, I actually am a pregnant person right now. Perhaps I should value, if not my own life, perhaps the unborn life of my child.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's the thing, you know, it's like, there was a moment where I it finally hit me. I was like, Paradox was 14 years old. I brought him to live with me in an abandoned house with junkies at 14.
And that's like the best option you had.
That's certainly what it felt like at the time.
See, again, you have the benefit of 35 years of work and hindsight and reading and talking and learning. You were 16. You talk about Paradox like he was 14 and you were 52. You were just a baby. You were a little baby. 16? Fucking Lander is 14 and he can't put a cap on the milk to save his fucking life. Baby. All right. I got to go. I got to redo our calendar and I got to do our menu for the week. And I have all these grown-up mom things to do.
Yeah, I love you, hon. Thank you so much.
It's fun to do Zoom. We should do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, we will. We will. I adore you.
Okay, will you please give my love to your crazy brother? I miss him. We didn't talk about how he's doing. Let's talk next time.
Okay.
I want to hear how he is.
All right. Next time, hon.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye, honey.